Hello, I'm Christine and welcome to Book Talk. Today we are discussing Julia Vanishes by Catherine Egan. This month I'm working with Random House. They sent me this book. So Julia Vanishes, I finally finished a book. And I'm close to finishing another book. I'm finally pushing past the reading slump that would never freaking end. So I read Julia Vanishes via audiobook, which if you don't know already, I'm an Audible affiliate. So if you have any interest in joining Audible, if you use my link to sign up, you get your first book for free, which is awesome. Julia Vanishes follows a girl named Julia who has the ability to vanish. And it's a really interesting mythology that's built in this book. One of my favorite parts of this story was the world. It was really different, and there are witches and their mythology was really different and really interesting. Like, I've never seen witches that work like this. I found it so cool. The way that people know that people are witches. Julia is not a witch, but there are witches in her life, and it's common knowledge that they exist, and they're hunted down and killed because they're looked at as a threat. But there was a time where witches lived peacefully amongst our world. Fittingly, she is a thief. Her dad's left them, her mother's dead, and the head of this thieving crew / company took her in when she was younger. And her brother. They both work for this woman. She's doing a job, and it's a very dangerous job for this very wealthy woman, and she doesn't really know what she's getting herself into. And this is actually the first book in a new trilogy. There's a lot of build-up to what was happening, because it's like a big mystery, who she's working for, like who hired her to do this job, and what she's actually supposed to be doing. She's working as a spy in this house, and she's not really sure what she's looking for. They've just told her to be aware of weird things that are going on and report back until they tell her what to do from there. If you enjoy mysteries where you have to figure out what's going on and taking in different clues and stuff and different and interesting takes on witch lore, I think you'd enjoy this book. I did feel like the story took a little bit of time to build and get into, but that's true of most fantasies. I think that's all I can really say for the non-spoilery section. I'd give Julia Vanishes a B. I think it's really different, and I think the books are gonna get better as you go along because now the world is built. Now we can just dive into the characters. I really enjoyed our main character, and I enjoyed her brother, and I enjoyed her love interest. Like, I have a really good feel for all those different people in the story. I just want to see more of them and learn less about the history now. If you haven't read Julia Vanishes and it sounds like something you would enjoy, definitely go pick it up. Bye, non-spoileries! Okay, so Julia Vanishes kind of went by in a blur for me. Like I said, I really enjoyed Julia. I really like Win. I think he's an interesting boyfriend character because immediately we don't really get to know him as anything except someone who cheats on her. I think the origins of their love story are super interesting. Like, he had never looked at her romantically, but then she saves his life, and then all of a sudden things are different. But are they really? Because when she's too busy to see him all the time, he gets lonely enough to cheat on her. I kind of want to see where that goes if he does try to change, but at the same time, he doesn't seem like he's gonna change. But since it's a book, I'm down to watch it play out. I don't know how I feel about her and Frederick, but I feel like that's a thing that will happen in future books. This world is so weird. I love the restriction of having to write down spells to perform them, because witches are so powerful, and having to channel this power through writing adds this whole new dimension to the witch world, you know? Like, a pen is a weapon. The pen is mightier than the sword, literally. And going to the cleansings and watching them drown the witches was so interesting and so sad. The whole witches can't be burned by fire thing, that's how they know that they're a witch. It's so cool. Like, that's how they used to kill witches. Burn them at the stake. And then they do the complete opposite here. They literally can't swim. It's their Achilles heel is water. Do they take showers? How far does that go? What is Julia? Like, do witches spawn weird creatures? And oh my god, I really love the character of Pia. I thought she was such a cool, walks the line of being a villain or just a fellow thief locked into that same system that Julia found herself in. I couldn't believe when Julia actually stole Theo, but it's gonna make for a really interesting character arc. Who knows where she's gonna go from here? Like, what does she do if she's not being a thief, if she's not a con artist, if she's not working jobs all the time? I liked how the information was revealed about their mother. First, we kind of saw her brother, and she talked about how the scourge had gone through him, but it looks like halfway through his body it had stopped. She makes reference to how it looks almost magical. Then we hear that her mom is the one who saved him. It was magic. Mrs. Ock is really interesting, whatever the heck Mrs. Ock is. Now, a little bit of the mythology got muddled up for me, and I don't know if that's just because I wasn't paying hard enough attention, or it just kind of was a little confusing because there was a lot being thrown at us. I'm just comparing this to the Vampire Diaries because that's my closest point of reference in my mind. There are 3 originals, and they're not witches, they're like these gods, immortals, immortal beings. And one of them is Mrs. Ock, one of them is our villain, and then one of them is Gnocchi. God, I'm very bad with these names. And the way that these 3 siblings have separated and become enemies, they've become enemies, is another intriguing layer to this story. The villain one is doing this because all 3 of them are in the process of dying. He wants to gain control of it so he can ensure their mortality. I mean, there's a lot of layers to this story. There were some points in reading this that I did wish that the main character was more involved in the brunt of all this magic stuff. I feel like Pia's point of view would have been really interesting. Like, she has 9 lives or something. I could picture her so perfectly. She intrigues me. I want to know her story. What is your story? I think she's my favorite character. Julia, she said it further on in the book, and I'm like, that's exactly what I've been thinking this whole time. This is not her story. She's just along for the ride, watching these immortals work shit out. The biggest thing that I think the story was lacking was humor. There was really no lightness. It was all very dark and mysterious. A humorous aspect to it would have allowed me to connect more with these characters, to see them as real people rather than characters in a story. I'd love to hear your thoughts, who your favorite character is. I'm Christine. I make videos every Tuesday. I'm at XTINEMAY on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!